What's going on, people? It's your boy C-Zar with C-Zar Gets Crypto, and we are looking at Litecoin today. Today's video was inspired by Ethan Gallstad. You made a request in the comments, my man, and here we are. Sorry, I'm a little bit late on this. I wanted to make this a couple days ago, but you know, I got a kid, man, and just life can get away from me at points and times. I literally, man, I tried making a video for 2 hours yesterday, and it did not work out. I kept getting interrupted. I had footage, I was recording and everything, but I didn't. I want to try and post videos without her crying on it, you know, or like distractions. I want it to be like clean and stuff. So, anyways, without getting into the real life stuff, let's actually talk about Litecoin here. I'm going to turn that down so that we don't have any interruptions either. Let's see. Bam, there we go. And yeah, without any further ado, let's get into it. So I guess we'll start, you know, kind of looking at it on the monthly scale, get a like general picture at it. We can pull up the RSIs here. I don't think the long-term RSI is relevant in this one, so disregard this kind of area. I've got the 123 long-term RSI and the 10 short-term RSI. Just so you know, 123 MA also is not available, but that will be on other, you know, time frames on this chart. So without any more of that, let's get into it. On the bottom here, from the all-time low to the current all-time high, we just set a fib right there automatically. It looks like we had a nice double top here, right? We came down, and this is actually a bullish sign, right? Whenever you come down like this and you get close to the 618, just like it'd be bearish if we did it the other way. We got close to it, but there's so much buying pressure down here that we couldn't quite get it. I bet everybody and their mother was looking at this for a buy, and it couldn't quite reach there. It literally, like, by the end of the month, from low to high, you literally pumped 34%. So you dropped all the way down, but then you pumped up 34% by the end of the month at this area. I think this is a good sign right here. Came up to the 236. Generally, whenever you see this, a bounce off the 618 area, all the way back to the 236, you see a rejection. Generally, you would come back to the 618 and likely break through it, if not at least like tested a support. You didn't even get down there this time, man. You've made a higher low, and this is definitely bullish. And as you can see, you know, price kind of corresponded to that, and we didn't break the 100. We had a very technical double top, like it looks like to the T a double top. But again, we're just, you know, low here, higher low here off of the 50 area. I do want to draw different fibs on this because I don't know if this is the right one to go off of, but you did hold this as resistance right here. Now you're holding it as support. This is the 382. It's a very significant line to hold support on. I like it, man. I don't think that we're going to go lower than this. Just like most crypto right now, I think the low is in for Litecoin. This month, you know, the past few months have been pretty big indecision candles. A lot's been going on. You know, we've been basically moving sideways and moving down throughout the months, but then coming back up to close right at the same areas. We really haven't done much over the past few months. If we zoom in here, actually I want to look at the RSI before we move on. RSI doesn't look super impressive, to be honest, but you know, rejecting the 50 like this and you didn't get a sizable move afterwards, like yes you did, you moved down, right? And this from here, that was a 30% move down, so I mean that is significant, but you didn't close that low. And you're still right up here around the 50. I'm inclined, when you see, you know, when you see this, okay, yes, you're going to go lower, right? And you did. But when you see this, you're like hugging it. I'm more inclined to believe that we're about to see a nice green month for LTC. And besides this reading alone, you know, the rest of crypto, Bitcoin, the way everything's behaving right now, just the climate of the market, I think this thing wants some upside for sure. And I do think inevitably this high is going to break. At 420, perfect. That's beautiful. I actually didn't know that its all-time high was at 420. That's great. Let's see here. I wonder, you know, if we were to take the top here, which is at 413. Close enough, though. You know, close enough. 413 there. Yeah, man. I like this fib a lot. I actually like this one more. You came up, you held support on the 236, found resistance on the 382, confirmed support yet again on the 236. This thing wants to go to the 618 pronto. And I say this on a monthly scale, so it can be months. It doesn't, pronto means like months, right? It could be next month. I doubt it's this month, right? We have about 6 days left in this month. But from here to the 618, I would definitely give it the green light, and that's about an 88% move. It can go higher. It wouldn't surprise me, in fact, if it went up to the 0.69, and that is an over 100% move, almost 120%. It could go there. It could even go up to the 786 or the 886 and then test back as support. But right now, all eyes for me are on the 618 area, which is pretty close to this old like area of resistance. Maybe we close here, but we wick up to the 618. I don't know. The way it's looking now, right? You've got your bottom. You tested support on the 0.069. Came up and tested support on the 236, resistance on the 382, support on the 236 again. It wouldn't surprise me if you went up to the 618 and then like tested support on the 0.5, or maybe even back at the 382 and then went up again, something like that. I don't think this happens. This is in like August of 2024 on this scale. I don't think it's going to take that long for it to see prices that go that high. It might, but let's just see here. Let's do some further delving into the time frames. Yeah, man, this thing wants to break the 382, and generally when you break the 382, I don't even look for the 0.5. I look at the 0.618, which again is about an 80% increase from here. For looking at the RSI on the weekly, it's not necessarily bearish. It's not necessarily bullish. It is above the 50. It's breaking above the 50 this week. You're kind of in the sideways moving range where, you've got a mix of lower highs and higher lows. So it's not really done anything impressive yet, other than this week it's up 16%, which is nice. I would think, let's see here, looking at the long-term RSI, yeah, you're above the 50. It looks like you're holding it as support. I would think that price wants to go above this line very soon. And let's see again from top here to bottom. Is that the 413? Yeah. The 0.5 is right there at the purple line, and I said we would go above it. So really, the more that I'm looking into this whole idea of bouncing up to the 618 and coming back to the 0.5 for support, which again, that would be around where the purple line is. The 0.5 is right there at the purple line. So doing that is not out of the question. That's pretty classic fib behavior. Bitcoin did break through its like 618, but let's see, I think it did it on a smaller time frame. So never mind, actually. Generally, what I was going to say is that generally I would expect the 618 to hold as resistance on the first pass. It doesn't need to. Price could just go straight through it. But as of right now, my bias is that this would hold as resistance. It kind of is in the middle of this like price range over here, this topping range. Again, that 618 would be right at a price of, I haven't said the actual price itself. It's at about 170, 172, something like that. And that to me looks like it's kind of right here in the middle of this price range. Maybe even a little bit higher than that, maybe at 190, which is probably where the 0.69 is. Actually, the 0.69 is at 200, so maybe we do go up to 200. I don't know. Anyways, on the weekly, I'm getting my bearings here. I haven't done TA on this chart in a while, so I'm just, if I seem confusing or like I'm jumping around the board here, it's because I'm definitely doing that. I'm trying to figure out, I'm looking at it, I'm trying to get like different perspectives, different angles, and just see what it's telling me, because it's got a lot to say. And I haven't paid any attention to this chart in a while, so it's got a lot to say, and I want to keep my ears open. So that's why I'm going to measure and just kind of dissect this thing from a few different angles. You do have hidden bullish divergence. You've got this low here, which is basically tied. That's like a double bottom on a closing basis, but you've got lower lows here in the RSI. And to be fair, this low here and this low, this is bearish convergence, I guess, but to some degree it is hidden bullish divergence, if at least not like some kind of a lower form of a double bottom. You did bounce off of the 40, the bearish control zone, which is definitely a good sign. Bounced off it, you bounced off it, and you're having a nice pop here on price. the way this thing likes to move, man, it's kind of like Bitcoin Cash, right? As it moves up, it gives some of it back, or all of it back, and then it moves up more, and then it gives it all back, and then it moves up more. You know, you're in the middle of this move up. It wouldn't surprise me if you came back down whenever it's all done, but I don't know where it's going to end. At the moment, I'm inclined to believe, let's see, yeah, man. At the moment, I'm inclined to believe you're at least going to make a move up to 120, if not 142, or higher, And again, that 618, it was at 170, right? Yeah, it's at 170, right above this 1886. It could go there. It could just make a straight shot up there. But I would say right now, looking at this, short of like a massive dump over the next 20 hours, I would say, and not even a massive dump, like a 5% dump or so, short of that happening, I'm bullish at least to 120, if not more likely 142 or higher. One second, I gotta check something. My computer just said it's dying, so I want to make sure it's not doing that. Let's see here. Yeah, I don't understand. Looks good to me. It shouldn't be dying. It should definitely not be dying, but it's plugged in and everything, so whatever. If it dies midstream, then you'll never see this video, but I'm hoping that it's not even a stream, it's just a video. Anyways, back to the charts, guys. We're looking at, again, 120 to 161 as an immediate kind of price range, somewhere in these extensions. It looks like it wants to go there. You came all the way up to the 886, found resistance, came all the way back to the 236, found support. I think, and you're above the 618 now. I think it's time. I think it's time to see extensions, honestly. Just based off of this time frame alone. You broke through the 50 here, bounced off the 40. You know, since October of last year, you haven't really been below the 50 on a weekly perspective. So this is a kind of stronger looking RSI now that I really think about it. You were showing weakness down here, but it quickly got retracted, quickly got erased. So I'm not worried about it at all. I definitely think that this is just a low, higher low, higher low, higher low, and right now you're getting ready for your next higher high, which the traditional way using fibs, the way that you would measure it is you take the last high to the current low or whatever, you know, and then look for the extensions based off of that. And it could go higher than that. It could go to the 2272, which is all the way up at 194. It could go to the 3618. You know, it's completely possible. But those areas I don't look at until, you know, there's phases, there's steps that you have to break. The first step to seeing these is breaking the 618, which it looks like we're going to do. You know, and then to see these, you want to break the 1618, and at least, or at the most, the 886 here. It looks good. It looks good. I like it. I want to see if there's anything besides the fibs here. Just looking at it, if there's anything that's a little bit more or less obvious that we're doing. Yeah, I don't know, man. You're just moving up. You know, you're winding up. Definitely looks bullish here, man. You haven't had any real expansion, right? Like, it looks like you've been moving up this whole time, but it's been taking a while, and it's zigzagged its whole way up here. The last time that you had an expansion, right, it was here. It just went up, 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 you know? And then here, up, 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 even here, up, up, up. Whenever you were moving sideways like this, we've been moving sideways, but with a very bullish tilt to it. I don't know, man. I think we are in the beginnings. We're going to see some form of an expansion, and that move could definitely take us around 140 or higher, I would think, just being where we are. Yeah. Anyways, looking at the daily, we are above the purple line, which is nice. The purple line sloped down, but that's okay. It's kind of, you know, price has been doing some wacky stuff over the past couple months, just up and down and up and down and up and down. We're above the 50 on the long-term RSI and above the purple line. That's a good combo. You are in strong areas of the RSI, but you've yet to get into the overbought zone really since April. And even when you were there, it wasn't anything like this. You didn't really get deep into it. I would like to see a move where we get deeper into the overbought zone to get that expanding, that you know, like more of a solid up move we've seen recently, right? We've been moving up and moving down, moving up, moving down. I want to see something like this, where yes, there were still weeks where we came down, but this move up is notably different than this one, right? It moved up a lot faster. I think that we are about to see that, but to see that on the daily, you would want to see overbought conditions, something like this over here, and we just haven't seen that yet. And before we got overbought here, we actually went to the overbought zone, rejected it, came back down to about the 60 level, and then pumped. You know, maybe we're doing that now. Maybe we come down a little bit lower for Litecoin and then pump from there. I do think we're getting ready. I do think we're getting ready for that. It definitely looks good, in my opinion. I want to go. Let me see here. You know, technically at the moment, we do have lower highs and lower lows. It's not encouraging, but I think this is going to be. It might have the same kind of story that Bitcoin had this week, where the bears are like, oh, it's still got a lower high, like it's not going to break this high, but it actually, I think it's on its way to do that, you know. And then once it breaks this high, well, it's going to take this next high out very obviously, and once it takes that high out, this high is just barely above that, and then once it takes all these highs out, we are out of this range, right? And then we're going to get that nice move up, and maybe it all happens really quickly. But I really do think that this wants to go anywhere from like 140 to 200 very soon. Again, a price move to 140 from here would be about a 55 to 60% move. Up to 200 or plus, you know, you're looking at an over 120% move. And on the monthly, going back out to this, I mean, you've got a high close here. You know, wicks on the bottom right there. You got a high close there too. This line at 122 might be significant. You've got a low close here, wicking high here, 144. You've definitely got some resistance above you. But once you break through that, man, there's not a whole lot left. There's just like this line here and then this line here, which is, you know, that's above $200. So Litecoin could definitely make a move to 200 or higher. Maybe we find resistance at 227 and pitter patter from there, but I think this thing wants to make a move up. I definitely think it does. LTC, BTC. I feel like I'm just saying the same thing over and over again. Like, Litecoin looks good. It wants to move up. So the Litecoin Bitcoin pair here. Let's see. You know, you're in a nice solid downtrend. Still have a lower high. You might be forming a higher low here. Rejected the 50. That's not good. Litecoin might lose value against Bitcoin. It doesn't look as strong as Bitcoin Cash, but that could change. That could change really quickly. You know, let's look at the weekly, see what it looks like. I don't like this. I don't like this as much, you know, at least versus Bitcoin. Again, the US dollar I'm bullish on, but against Bitcoin, you know, here you were holding above the 50 on the RSI, and look at what you did. You moved up, right? Here you double tested it as resistance and the purple line as resistance, and you're below the 50. I don't really like this. I think versus Bitcoin, Litecoin actually might lose value. So if Litecoin were to move up, that would just mean that Bitcoin's going to move up more. Or if Bitcoin were to drop from here a little bit, Litecoin would drop more. I'm more leaning to the first one, that Bitcoin kind of goes up while Litecoin will probably still go up, but just not as much, right? You'll see Bitcoin pump 5% in a day, Litecoin pumps 2% or 3% in a day. And maybe it has a 7% move all the way up, but it gives some of it back, right? That's not uncommon for the way the Litecoin does things. I don't like it as much as BCH, to be fair, at least versus Bitcoin. I definitely don't like it as much, but let's see. Let's take a little bit more time and look here. You know, from this last kind of like crook here, low to high. Not really any significance on that level. I don't know if I like that. Let's see. Maybe this one, low to high here. Okay, a little bit of support on the 1618, support on the 1414, resistance on the 1414. So yeah, 1272, 786 there. I kind of like it. It's very far away. That's the one thing making me not like it as much. What about this one here, top to bottom? Yeah. Okay. Okay. So maybe Maybe Litecoin goes down just a little bit versus Bitcoin from here. Maybe it goes down to the 236. It loses about 17% of its value versus Bitcoin, at least on this chart. It can lose 17% of its value versus Bitcoin and still not lose money in US dollars terms. It can lose money in US dollars terms too, but I don't know if that's what's going to happen. The way this looks, you broke through the 618, you closed above it, you opened and closed above it here, and you just couldn't get above the 0.69 here, which is okay. That's, you know, that's pretty to be expected, I would say, especially on a fresh break right through the 618. You came back below it. Looks like you're finding support on the 382, but not the support you're looking for. You didn't get a bounce up from here. You actually found resistance on the 0.5, and it wouldn't surprise me if this level wasn't significant support, if you have to come down even lower to find significant support. And coming down that low still, you're going to have a higher low, right? And I think that that's fine. I think that's totally fine. Versus Bitcoin, it wouldn't surprise me if this chart went somewhere down here before moving up above the 618. And I do think, looking at the way that it broke here, I do think you break above the 618. And not only that, eventually you'll see extensions. The way that this looks, I'm already thinking that you're going to see some form of extensions inevitably. So at the current time frame, and, you know, the immediate term, the short term, you know, the coming weeks, maybe even the coming month, versus Bitcoin, I think Bitcoin might be the better asset versus Litecoin. But after that, man, Litecoin is going to, it's going to do some stuff. It might, you know, if we hold this red line here, which I think it will, just the RSI doesn't look good. You know, how the price on the weekly, on the daily, like it was holding above the 50 for quite a while. You haven't been above the 50 on this, and this is on the monthly. You've been showing very like weak readings, at least not strong readings. I really don't like it as much, but again, this isn't the US dollar pair, so that says nothing about the actual US dollar price itself. It's just versus Bitcoin. Yeah, I don't like it on the weekly either. To be fair, you've got a higher low right now. You know, until this low is taken out, it is possible that you could turn around from here. It is completely possible. I am inclined to believe that this low will be taken out, but I could be wrong on that. I could definitely be wrong on that. You know, this thing, it likes to move up here. It gave most of this move back. You know, we were in this range, finally broke out of it, but then it got right back into the range, right? You're in this range, you broke out of it a little bit, and then you just came right back down here. You know, you could come up. It's not really the same move as this over here at all. I'm comparing it where it really shouldn't be compared, honestly. I do think it goes lower versus Bitcoin. That's what I have to say on that. Let's see. On the daily time frame, yeah, it looks weak, man. It looks like what it wants to do is it wants to come down, get a higher low here, but a lower low here, have some bullish divergence form, and then maybe you'll turn up to the upside for real. So versus Bitcoin, I don't like Litecoin as much. I definitely like Bitcoin Cash more than Litecoin versus Bitcoin right now. But again, LTCUSD, if we're looking at it on Coinbase, because that's got a lot of historical data, it's bullish. It's definitely bullish, man. This is a whole different chart. You're above the purple line. This is above the 50. Strong readings in the RSI. You know, you had this move down. It looked aggressive, but man, you worked your way back up. You engulfed all of this. You ate it up. And on a weekly basis, you know, it would be nice if you could get above this candle, but the fact that you got at least halfway or more above it is very encouraging. This looks like a bottoming candle to me. I would be surprised if Litecoin went lower than this low. While I do think it makes lower lows, maybe not like lower than the bottom on the BTC chart, but I think it makes lower lows, LTC versus BTC, but on the USD chart, I don't think it does. I think that it wants to break out of this range here. I think it really does. I want to look at the daily one more time here. Yeah, you need to hold here. Not really go, I would say don't go below $86, maybe even $87, $88, maybe don't go below there. On a closing basis, you can wick below it, but just come back up before the day closes. And just like hold prices here and then get overbought. Get some strong readings, like some truly strong readings, which you haven't had. Like, yes, you were overbought here, but these are strong readings, right? And look at what that produced, right? From the moment you were overbought, which was this candle here, you literally from low to top increased 40% in the matter of, let's see here, in the matter of like just over a month and a week. And that's not even that big of a move. That's not that impressive of a move. More impressive than what we're seeing now. And overall, it went up even more than that. But just talking about from the time that it was overbought, this move here, we got into the overbought zone a little bit, and that was a pretty aggressive move to the upside. Same thing here, pretty aggressive. And we got overbought on this day. You know, just like Bitcoin and just like most charts, whenever you first get into the overbought zone, that normally screams that you're going to see continuation. It's not the time to sell it. Very rarely do you get into the overbought zone. Like even look here, right? You get into the overbought zone and you reject it right afterwards, but guess what? We went up higher still afterwards. Very rarely do you just like get here and then dump. That's exactly what happened here, but that's not common. And in fact, we even got in it before, so like this was the second iteration up, so this isn't even like a prime example of that, but it's very rare that you get into the overbought zone and you dump. It's not as rare to reject off of the overbought zone and dump. So that's why I would really like to see Litecoin continue to climb. At least, you know, just keep this higher daily close. It doesn't need to do anything spectacular. Just keep climbing, you know, keep climbing, try to get overbought, and then once you're overbought, I think you're going to see some stronger moves, which makes sense because you're in this range. You get up here and you get overbought, you're showing strong readings, you're in a breakout territory, you're gonna get a breakout move. Which, I mean, the last time we saw something like that, I guess would have been here, from low to top, you know, immediate top, I guess, would have been like a 78% move. Right now, from low to top, if this move was to break out, you know, 78% would put us, yeah, above 120 for sure. You know, maybe we go above 130 or something like that. I still really do like that 140 level, but 170 is where the 618 is, and just on like a more macro scale, I like this RSI. I think it's about to get above the 50, and once it does that, I think you're gonna get some good moves as well. But you know, from top to bottom here, this 618 is at 170. I like this 618 even. And it might be this one that might be worth more paying attention to. That 618 is at 140 again. Yeah, it's right there at that top. This might be the right one to look at, actually. You're holding the 382 as support. You bounce off the 236, bounce off the 0.069. Yeah, this might be the fib to watch for now. I don't really know. I do like using the last cycle's high, but to be fair, this high was the one that sent us to the current low. And sometimes you got to mess around with the fibs to see which one is giving you the better look. Not a whole lot of volume coming in on a monthly perspective. Weekly perspective, same thing. Not a whole lot of volume coming in. I think you just need some interest, man. That's about it. I'm not worried about the volume. It doesn't make me think the price is going to go down. It's just not encouraging to see a breakout yet. And when we do get a breakout, hopefully we'd see more volume than just what we've been seeing. You know, something like over here, something that's like twice as big as these bars over here. I think that's really all I want to say. Let's pull up the ribbon. Let's look at the ribbon, the MA exponential ribbon. I'm going to get rid of this fib here, put it in logarithmic. It doesn't need to be in log. I just like it in log. It looks better. On the daily, not a lot of respect. A lot of these cryptos, man, they don't respect the daily. And you can see that it's not respecting it. Look, right? This is respect, right? You're above it. You might go below it, but you quickly get above it. The ribbon doesn't cross over itself. It's holding its position. Here, you're going through it. You're just acting like it doesn't even exist, and the ribbon itself is like flipping back and forth. That's actually normally whenever you see this kind of action in the ribbon, that spells for a big move to come. It really does. Once it picks its true direction, which I think is going to be to the upside, that does spell a significant move to come. Generally, not always, but generally. On the weekly, it is to the bearish side. You are bearishly postured, but it's close, man. It's close. You keep going up from here. You hold these prices at this high. If you just keep going up from here, you're going to get a bullish cross, and that would be significant. The last time that we had a bullish cross on Litecoin was over here. Look at that, man. I mean, the low was all the way down here at $25, right? $24, something like that. And by the time the cross happened, technically, the price was at $82. But that was, you know, that was the last time we went down to $65 and then boom, went all the way up to $400. So this was a very bullish move. This happened at the very beginning of, like, you know, we moved up, or we found our low way back here and we moved up since then. But this was like up and mainly sideways, right? Anytime we had like a breakout, we just gave it right back. We just moved sideways for a very long time. And then once we got that cross, it was on. It was on. And we're about to get that cross, man. Especially price, all it has to do at this point is just stay up here. It doesn't even have to go higher. If it just stays here, you're going to get that cross inevitably. But the higher it goes and the quicker that it goes higher, the more likely and the faster that you're going to get this cross. And it looks like it wants to do that. So, you know, kind of the same thing here. The bottom happened way back here, but the cross happens here. This might mark the beginning of like a really powerful move to come. And on our way up, we will have 30% drops. We will have, let's see how much of a drop this one was. 40% drops, you know. We're going to have, I don't know if this one's bigger. It looks actually like kind of the same. Yeah, 38%. So, you know, don't get shaken out on moves like that. If you can anticipate them, sell and try to double dip on the buy, you know. But at that point, whenever we get this cross, any dump, it's just a buy the dip moment. And I think we're getting into buy the dip territory if we're not there already, honestly. Now, let's look at the monthly, the Mac Daddy itself. It's not bad. It's not encouraging. It looks kind of wonky. It looks like it wants to cross to the downside, which is not a good look. If this crosses to the downside, I wouldn't be completely concerned, honestly, because it could be a fake cross. This could be some kind of major form of consolidation, and we are really close to getting above it. But you really don't want to get away from this price range. You definitely want to get higher. I would feel safer with Litecoin once it gets above like 95 bucks. Personally, I would feel safer with it. I don't like it as much versus BTC, but I definitely do like it versus the US dollar pair. You know, you're getting higher lows, higher highs. I think at the moment we're getting lower highs, but I think that just means we're getting ready for our next higher high. And if we do, and when we do, that's going to be above this ribbon, proving that this was indeed just like a false kind of look to the bear side. We actually even had that last time here, right? Like, look at this. It completely crossed to the downside, and we actually didn't move lower. It actually looked just like this last time, right? Battled it, and then broke above it. This is probably the same month and weekly candle that we got that cross, that bullish cross. Oops, right here. You know, it was probably around the same time. So I'm actually not too worried about this, the way that the monthly ribbon looks, honestly. I don't know if there's a lot to construe from this. Something that I found, this is just like a little side note here, and it's not always true. Nothing is always true. Nothing has a 100% guarantee, but something I found is if you look at the ribbon, where it tops, where it bottoms, whatever, like if I was to put a line right here, you can see where I'm going with it, right? It's like right there at the top of the yellow line. You often do find significance there. And what a coincidence. We found support on it here on a monthly basis. We closed at it and bounced. What a coincidence. We found resistance on it right here, you know. It happens. It definitely happens. Yeah. This one not so much. These ones not so much. But sometimes the point of the ribbon itself, where it has a like an inflection point, where it like turns around, that can be a mark of resistance and support as well. That's something that I've come to find with the ribbon. It's not always, but I think it's enough. It happens enough times to kind of pay attention to it. Let's see. CC. I mean, here, for example, right? You've got your low on the ribbon, the yellow right there, and look, you bounced off of this exact same area. Bounced off it right here. It was another higher low for you there. You know, on the red line, right? Because now it's flipped to the downside. The red line would be your resistance. You kind of got resistance here. And again, it's not always, but I don't know. Top right there on the yellow line, top right there in the price. It's not uncommon. It's something that I've I don't think anybody's actually like showed me that. It was just something that I noticed with one of my buddies on Discord. We were kind of when we were trading back in like 2018, 2019 on Bitcoin, we noticed it, and it actually like played out pretty well most of the time. I wonder, you know, I think I've said everything I want to say on Litecoin, but I want to just go back on Bitcoin here and see if I think it was on the daily though, and I don't know if I'll have enough history for that. Oh, maybe I will. Let's see. Right, so I don't know. You find a bottom here. I guess there was no significance there. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. Anyways, I do like Litecoin. I do think that it goes higher. Maybe not as high as Bitcoin at the current moment, but in the coming weeks to months, that could change. Looking at the LTCBTC chart, I definitely think it wants to go lower than it is now, and it might even make a lower low than this. But inevitably, I think it's going to go higher. I do think it's going to go higher. And whenever it does go higher, I mean, it's going to go higher than this here. So at the moment, I don't like this as much, but I think it's going to, in the coming weeks, it will have its time to shine for sure. Anyways, I know that video was kind of all over the place. I hope I didn't confuse too many people. If you liked the video, leave a thumbs up. Subscribe to see more. LTCUSD, looking at it on Coinbase again. I think what would be really encouraging, just some like closing thoughts, is get this weekly band, this weekly ribbon, to cross bullishly, stay above the ribbon like you are now, and if anything, you know, you don't have to make impressive moves up. It doesn't have to. Having this daily cross bullish would be nice too, but I mean, it's been so disrespected. I would pay no mind to this. If anything, the amount of disrespect and the way that it looks should be telling that we are going to see a significant move, and I think we're actually in the beginnings of it right now, to the upside. And what I would look for to kind of confirm that would be if we can get a daily close above $96, which is only about $7 away from here. So if it can do that, if we can close above there, I think at that point, you know, we're breaking out of this lower high range, and ultimately I think we're just going to break out of this whole range and go up to about 140, if not somewhere around $200. Give or take 10 bucks either way. And yeah, that's all I got for you guys. So if you like the video, leave a thumbs up, subscribe to see more, and I will see you on the next one. Have a good day. Take care. Bye-bye.